Hello everyone, welcome to Naveen Codes. Welcome to our sixth session on our Spring MVC tutorial series. So now we have the project setup ready. We have the server ported, so everything is set. So we can start building our website, right? If you see here, we can see that Maven has already created the controller package. Maven has already created this home controller for us. So what does a controller do? So in MVC stands for model view controller, right? So in that, what does the controller do in the MVC? So the controller is the what to say is controller is the API which does the request handling, and it returns the uh, response back to the web browser, right? So the controller returns the JSP, which is the response. JSP in the sense that it embeds the data inside the JSP and returns the JSP name to the dispatcher servlet. Dispatcher servlet resolves the JSP and it returns back the JSP to the browser as a response, right? So that is what is happening. So if you see here, they have already done what request mapping. So one thing you have to remember is that whatever controller you are creating, you have to uh, put this at controller annotation. Then only that class will be treated as a controller. Then only that class will be treated as the API endpoint, where the dispatcher servlet should come and look for request mappings. Okay, so just don't forget to put this at controller annotation. And this at request mapping annotation is what you use for request mappings. So if you see here, they are mapping this slash in the sense whatever you are empty URL you can take. If you're only using the context path, then this particular uh, function is the business logic for that. So let me run the application and show it to you. Start the server, go to the browser. The server has started. Just look for any server errors, okay? In case you have done anything wrong, there will be server errors in this console. So just look for it. So we don't have any server errors. I'll go to the browser. Just type the context path. Context path in the sense this is the context path. This is the context path. So whatever URLs you are going to build further on, you are going to put a slash and append it, right? For now, just access. If you see here, this hello world JSP has been is displayed in the browser. Here they are returning the home JSP, right? Home JSP. This will go to the dispatcher servlet. Dispatcher servlet will use this. Where is that? Yeah, it will use this bean resolver. See, and will resolve JSP name. The suffix is going to be .jsp. So home.jsp, and look for the home.jsp in this folder, right? Whereby used here it is. So this home.jsp has the HTML content which has to be displayed. You change something here. The logo is not changing. Save and restart the server. Now go to the browser, refresh the logo. See the change has taken effect. Now what we can do is we can create a login page. Okay. So for that, let's create a separate controller called login controller. Maybe we can call it as login logout controller. Okay. Login logout controller. You finish. The first step is to use the controller annotation. Imported. Okay. So now let's do the request mapping. At request mapping, value is equal to slash login. Okay, method is equal to request method dot get Okay, so let's like check the uh, this documentation. So this request mapping, if you see, method level mappings are only allowed to narrow stuff. You can read this, okay? And this request mapping will take these parameters values the URL value which is going to map, and method is the method type. So if you know these HTTP methods are of different types. You would have heard about get, post, put, delete, etc. So get method um, will like get data from the server, and it displays you, and it displays the data which is fetched from the browser, fetched from the server in the browser. Few so the method of type post will get input from the user via the browser, and it will like give it to the server, right? The server will use the data which is like inputted by the user, and it will like manipulate the data, store it in the database, etc., etc., based on the business logic that you are like entering, right? So now we are like we have like designed this mapping to process the HTTP URL slash login of method get. So let us write a function public. Its return value should be string, because like we are going to return a JSP name, right? Public string process login, and this is going to take model as the parameter. Import everything. Okay, so let us just return the JSP called login. Okay, done, right? So now we have like done this. Let's go and create the login.jsp. So on this login.jsp, let us create a login. We have to like display the login details, right? For that, let us create a form maybe. Okay, let us use a form and like display the login, so login password option. Okay, so we are using a HTML table to format the page. Okay, login, table row should be table data, right? So we are going to use an input tag. Type is equal to text. Let's give a uh, id is equal to user id. So in another row we are going to create option to enter the password. Just follow the same steps. Password slash dd and then input type is equal to password, and let's give an id selector. So I hope you know why we like you use this uh, id value, and I hope you know about basic html. If you don't know, like, I recommend you to like go and learn basic html. So so in a nutshell, we use html to develop web pages. Okay, so in that we use a html form to fetch input from the user. Okay, so that is why we use html. Okay, so if you don't know html, learn basic html. It's not a big deal. So let's start the server and check whether this is working or not. Slash login. See, the login option, login password option has been displayed. So don't worry about the alignment. So for alignment we have to use css. So in further videos I will like show you how to like use css and align the divs in your html page. Okay, so yeah, now we miss a, like, we forgot to add a submit button here, right? So let's go and add a submit button. Input type is equal to submit. Okay, let's give a value is equal to submit. So once the user submits, what should happen? So we should add a form action, right? Action is equal to slash login, method is equal to post. So why post? Because as I said, we are going to submit the some data. We are going to send some data to the server. So obviously we have to use the post method, right? So given method is equal to post. Now we have, if you remember, we have only like mapped the get method. We haven't mapped the post method. So let's go and create a post method. Same mapping, right? Because like this, for the same URL we are just creating a post method. Okay, let's print the information, whatever information is being like entered. Okay, so we just have to rename the method, right? Because we already have a method of this method with the same name, process login. So I've changed the method name. So we have to first catch. So we are going to like print the data which is like entered by the user. But how do we like capture what? How do we know? How does this controller know what data is being like entered by that? What data is being entered in that login form? So for that, you have to use a model attribute annotation. Okay, so that is where we like use our model, store the information in our model, and we just like use the model attribute annotation to capture the information which is like entered by the user in HTML form, and we will like store it in the model class, and we will like display the data in the front end by fetching data from the model. Okay, so all these things I will like show you in the next video. Okay, so stay tuned, let me meet you in the next video.